Hi, you've reached Ryan. Leave a message and I'll call you back. Hi, I'm quarantined and I've been Ryan for 7 days now. Wait. Super awesome, garage time. Yeah!
Watch it now.
Welcome back to Super Awesome Garage Time. So I started doing the reassembly of the transmission, and during the reassembly I tore a couple of the lip seals for the reverse input drum, I believe. I had to wait for those to come in. While I was waiting for those parts, I was going to go ahead and finish building up the rest of it, and while putting together the 3/4 clutch pack, I realized that I did not receive the correct number of thingamajiggets. So after a couple of phone calls and sending pictures back and forth with the people that I ordered that through and arguing with them over the phone about the proper setup for a 4L65 versus a 4L60, which is what they sent me, they agreed to send me what I needed for my application, which I have printed on the invoice that was mailed to me with it for what vehicle it was, what type of transmission, what year it was, and anyways, so I had to reach a stopping point with that and wait for parts again. But yeah, I was just doing a time lapse with that, and the GoPro filled up, and so I just threw it all together and sped it up real quick just so I'd have something to throw up, and because I know that people get restless when they don't get to look at my beautiful face and my soothing voice. So yeah, I did it for you. But rest assured, when I do get all my pieces parts, I'm gonna sit down and break it back down, start over again. I was following instructions from a pretty good and instructional video on YouTube for assembling a 4L65. The only issue is that the dude, and it's not a problem at all, it's just the dude whose video it is, English might be his second language, and there are times in the video where, when you're talking about, fairly important parts of the assembly where he may have said things backwards and then just went ahead and did the action without any clarification. So there are a few times where I was just kind of sitting there just like, wait, what? So I found another video that it's based on the 4L60, but whenever he gets to a point where there's one of those differences between the 4L60 and the 4L65, he delineates, hey, if you're doing a 4L65, you'll have 5 planetary gears as opposed to the 4, or he goes over those, he puts up graphics showing the difference in the clutch packs with measurements and all that stuff, and shows measurements for how much play there should be once the clutch packs are installed. So a little more informative, and I also got to a point where I was sitting there with a big old thrust bearing and sitting there thinking to myself, I know that came out of this case, and I took it apart like 3 times and watching that guy's videos, and I could not figure out for the life of me where that thrust bearing was, because like I was saying, like he didn't really show all the parts or go super in detail. And part of the reason I decided to switch to this other dude's video for the assembly was because he piece by piece, very meticulous, in going over the assembly and every little part where, you know, every little thing goes, every little index mark and all that good stuff. And, you know, it's been 10, 11, 12, 13 years since I've been inside an automatic transmission. I rebuilt a T5, the 5-speed manual out of a Mustang. I rebuilt that, that was about 6 years ago or so, and that went together perfectly fine, but, you know, totally different animals. But if anybody's watching this who wants to dive into a transmission and rebuild it and everything, the only thing I'll say is that it's not magic. There's nothing special about it. It is quite literally, you are stacking things in a certain order, and that's all there is. Like, you are literally stack, 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 snap ring, stack, 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 snap ring, stack, 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 snap ring, pump, bolt it in. And I mean, it's extremely straightforward. For the most part, it should only go back together one way. But yeah, I mean, there's, you know, manuals that you can use, videos, you know, dudes who make extremely informative step-by-step videos on doing it. Yeah, the best way to learn is just to do it. I mean, if it's something that somebody wants to try to do, I mean, go to the junkyard, pull you one out of, you know, any truck sitting out there, and just take it home, tear it apart, and just see what's going on. I mean, whether you have rebuild kit or not, just to get an idea of what's going on in there. That's kind of what I did when I was 16 or 17, something like that. I had a that one was a 90, I forget what year it was, Fox body Mustang, and I had just bought it. I was driving it home, and started racing a BMW, and the come to find out, the car had a bad U-joint. The front U-joint was bad. So it got up there at the high speeds, and that vibration ended up cracking the extension housing on the back of the transmission. The thing just blew all this transmission fluid out the back of that case. But I ended up from a race shop that used to be around my hometown. Dude gave me a an old T5 for, like, I think it was, I don't know, like $50, $75, something like that. And I took it home and, you know, took the tail shaft housing off of it to put on mine. But then with the rest of the transmission, I was just like, hey, what's going on in here? So, you know, I just took it apart and just inspected it, basically. Wanted to see what was going on in it, you know, move things around, see what happened when I did things. And at that time, it didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. At that point, it was just a bunch of gears and rods in there, and forks while moving around. Really confusing. But later on, when I attended school at NASCAR Tech, when we went through the transmission portion of school, the two transmissions that we learned on for manuals was a T5, and for automatics it was the transverse mounted Chevy one, the 4T65E. But yeah, so we learned on the 4T65E and the T5. So, you know, in the classroom we started learning about the T5s. It was one of those things where we're just like, oh, that's what that was. Oh, that's what that was. Oh, that makes so much sense. And, you know, just kind of one of those things, you know, light bulbs just started going off, and it just, from all of my messing around inside of it and everything, just blah, it made sense. But yeah, and I've just always, for some reason, found transmissions kind of fascinating and cool. Farted. But yeah, so here's just the time lapse of me starting to do the rebuilding of the transmission unsuccessfully due to broken parts and being mailed the wrong parts.
Surviving the coronavirus. Yeah, I didn't get to get started on the transmission yesterday because we were doing all of our end of the world shopping. Everyone buying toilet paper. Anyways, so yeah, so yesterday I didn't get to get started on the actual rebuild. As you can see, I'm still in got out of bed mode. But I'm about to clean off the workbench, so I have a work area to do this. And then I will start that teardown. So, yay. Here's my beautiful workbench before. Got all my bunch of my knife making stuff sitting up here, so I'm gonna have to do something about all that. And bam! Got the table all cleaned off. I'm gonna lay down a piece of cardboard here just so I have a nice clean working surface. And then I'm going to go ahead and separate the transfer case from the transmission. Bam! Workspace prepped. Alright, now we're just going to grab our handy hacksaw and separate the transmission and the transfer case. Alright, so this is my my first time purchasing any of the Icon brand from Harbor Freight. So I'm gonna be bought these because my torque set just happened to be missing only the 50, which is the size required to take the bell housing off. So see my little assistant here just examining these. Yep, works perfectly fine. Look at that. So yeah, I'll be I'm taking these, removing all these around the bell housing, taking the bell housing off, and I'll have a little bit more room and freedom to work there.
Yep, we're moving stuff.
More what?
Moving stuff. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
We're working on car organs.
Car organs.
Yay, we're working on car organs.
You ready, bud? 1, 2, 3. Ah, good job, dude. Good job. That's 2.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. 2, 3. There you go. Push hard.
Feels like nothing.
1, 2, 3.
This feels like nothing, Dad.
You're doing great. Alright, let me know when you're ready.
Dad.
Alright, 1, 2, 3.
When will this explode already?
It's not gonna explode.
I thought we were gonna kill the car.
1,
We're working on car organs.
1, 2, 3.
Car organs. You did it. You're doing a great job.
Here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Car organs. And car organs. Car organs.
Last one.
Car organs.
1, 2, 3.
Car organs.
There. Yep, here you go.
Yeah. Car. That one's still a bit.
No,
tight.
make sure you hold it straight, okay? There you go.
Car organs.
Hey, beautiful.
That's small.
Yeah, just a minute. Push it in all the way. There you go. Ah! All right.
Organs!
Good job. All right.
I just took out 8. There was 10.
All right, so initial impression of this Harbor Freight Icon torque socket. We were using the 50. There's, you know, some very slight warpage at the end of it.
This.
There's some very slight warpage at the end, but that is mostly due to the fact that those were so tight in there. I probably should have bought the 1/2-inch drive ones, not the 3/8, because I ended up having to use a reducer and a breaker bar in order to crack them all loose before I could screw them all out. But yeah, for a $24 set, it stood up to that. So I am happy. What are you doing?
You!
Oh, ew, don't say that. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and remove the bell housing from the transmission.
That was easy.
Yep, there you go.
It's a volcano! And look at the inside of this car organ. It's a car organ's organ. It's a car organ's organ!
All right, so getting this accumulator out, the snap ring holding it in place, kind of a pain in the ass for me. It was seized in there. So what I did to get it out, got this little corner out first by prying it out here in this notch. And once I got it up a little bit, I realized it was seized basically from here all the way around. So I took my trusty flathead and put it down on top of the spring, not touching the case, on the spring, and just took my rubber mallet and just tapped all the way around to try and loosen it up and unseize it. Once I did that, I was able to get a little bit more budged on it. And when I got towards the end, this end was where it was really seized bad. So when I got to there and I couldn't get any more, I took my screwdriver at an angle, touching the flat end of the snap ring, and gave it a tap to get it to rotate in there. Once I got that rotation, it was completely freed up and I was able to pull it on out of there. All right, here we are. Got the valve body pulled out, sitting down there with its gasket. I forgot to loosen up the connector underneath here before doing all this. I'm gonna have to pull that out in a couple minutes here. I'm not really doing like a step-by-step breakdown and build of this thing because there are about 900 like 2-hour-long videos or like 10-part videos that you can watch with every detail of how to do this. So this video is not really meant to be a tutorial. Just kind of showing me going through the paces of doing this. But so here I am right now. Got valve body out, all this torn down. Lost a couple of check balls for a few minutes there, but found them all. So got all 7. I think I got to double check, but yeah, I think it's 7. So yeah, coming up, I'm about to I think pull the pump out, and then start pulling all the guts. And yeah, should be back with another update soon. Okay, so to get that last spring and everything out, I do not have a tool for it, so I'm going to go ahead and make my own. I've already cut these 2 pieces of metal from the old broken breaker bar that I had. Put some holes, drill some holes in the middle of both of these. Place this one right outside the tail shaft housing, or extension housing, whatever you want to call it. Place this one on the spring, and I'll run a bolt through it and compress it. And so this sitting against the extension housing and this on the spring, compress the spring down, and I'll be able to get that last snap ring out. Alright, got our 2 pieces cut, holes drilled, and go find out if this works. I can pick it up. Alright, so my little tool worked. Got the snap ring out of there. You can point it down here. So, yeah, ended up stacking a nut underneath it on each side and tightening it down, and that compressed the spring enough for me to be able to get this snap ring out. So I did not have to buy a $200-something press or one of those $80 little tools. I spent I think maybe $2 total on the parts to build that. So cool. Well,
I don't know what with it.
so getting to my stopping point after getting this out. Damien, get out of there. Damn puppies. Yeah, getting to my stopping point for the night, so I'm going to put this all back together tomorrow.
Bye. Bye. I'll do a better job next time.
I'll bet you do.
Okay, wait. Where stop? Stop. Just off? Just off?
Yeah, you flipped off.
Madison is back. Back again. Brian's back. Let's be friends. Alright, day 2 of the 4L65 rebuild. Like I said, I got it all torn down to just the case. You'll have to squeeze me. What am I doing today? Who am I? I don't know, man. Right. Today, I'm going to be rebuilding all these internal pieces and parts. And I don't know, we'll see if I get around to putting it back together, but before I actually start diving into all the individual pieces, parts, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up my work area, get everything a little organized, make sure I don't run into any issues of mixing things up and losing little pieces, parts like, oh, I don't know, all the check balls that dropped all over the fucking place when I opened it up. I think I found them all. The only concerning part is that I found one more check ball than there are in the transmission. So yeah, that'll be. All right, we're gonna do a little unboxing here with our rebuild kit. Doing this one hand, so hopefully I don't knock it over, because that'd be stupid. Extra dumb. Oh, what the fuck? Go. Woo. Ah, sweet. This is all I care about. I got stickers. Fuck yeah. Stickers are cool. Stickers make cars go faster. Alright, here we go. Got a bunch of seals. Seals and gaskets. Cool. Got some meat and oh, cool. Comes with a new wiring harness. Was not aware of that. Awesome. That up there. Got a filter. Let's get this stupid cardboard paper out of the way. New filter. What is that though? One way clutch, spring, whatever the fuck it's. One-way bearing, I forget what it's called. It only lets it roll one way. That's kind of weird. Just loose frictions in here. I don't know how Are you fucking kidding? Look at that shit. They're already fucked up. Alright, now I'm gonna have to send an email now. But yeah, kidding now.
Coasters and frisbees, fish lures for deep seas, mobiles for infants. They make great Christmas tree ornaments. Bring the whole family. Parking is free. You're going to love our selection of 8-track tapes, like floppy disks, mobile car phones, Atari 2600 consoles, guardrail reflectors. Hold on.
Well, there you have it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I will have another video to post fairly soon. Not sure if I'm going to hop back into the F-350 and start doing the heads on that. It's supposed to rain like the next 3 or 4 days here. And the F-350 is sitting outside. So I don't know, I'm contemplating whether I'll put up the magic no rainfall on you thing, canopy tent, I think that's what they're called. Stupid 4-post thing up, save you rain, dry. Most likely I'll start putting the transmission back together up to the point that I can until I get those additional clutch and steels to put it back together. If not that, I might actually do a video of just, actually I can't really clean the garage out if it's raining, so then I have to pull everything out, rearrange it, bring it back in, blah blah, yada yada. I don't know, maybe I'll rebuild the turbo for the truck. Actually I would need the rebuild kit for that, but I can break it down, clean the parts out, and order the parts needed, you know, inspect it and see if the unison wheel and the vanes and everything are all salvageable, or if they've all got too much gunk and shit on them to salvage them. Plus that thing was drinking a lot of oil, and there's a pretty good amount of shaft play, so shaft play. I'm so funny. But yeah, sure. You know, still got, you know, another 2 weeks at home, and before I have to go back to work. So I'm sure I will find plenty of things to do. Today I started cleaning the garage out a little bit, just so I had more walking space and room. I also needed to take my collapsible table, clean that off so that I could use that to stage stuff for the truck. So, cool. All right. Well, yeah. Hope you enjoyed, and see you on the flip side. Super awesome garage time.
Watch it now.